Good morning, everyone. It is Nicole and Jenny here with the Coco Caliente Show, mother and daughter production, where we talk about everything and nothing all at the same time.
Good morning. And first of all, I want to talk about, it seems like we just did our last podcast. Does it not to you?
Yeah, like yesterday, but we didn't.
Yes, that's what I was wondering. Days and weeks, they just fly by anymore. And I was just laying in bed last night trying to figure out why they feel like this, if it was because I'm getting older. So that's why I wanted to discuss it with Nicole to see if she feels the same way, because she's a lot younger than I am.
Yeah, I definitely do feel like days go by a lot faster now. And is it because we're busier, do you think? Because so are you saying when you were a young mom, did you think days would go by a little bit slower?
Yeah, I thought I had all the time in the world, like, to do, like, say even a school day when I was a stay-at-home mom. It seemed like it was all day to get things done, and before you guys came home, and then I felt like I had all night for afternoon to play with you, do your afternoon activities, and then our games at night, and then I just felt like I had, a lot of time to make dinner. Everything wasn't so rushed, and so I was laying in bed just trying to think, why it is, and I'm starting to think it's because of like things like Netflix series, because you know how much time are on your phone?
Yeah, it's true. It's technology is what it is.
That's what I think it is. I think it takes so much. It takes way more time than you think. Like, you're just going to look up one thing on your phone, like an answer. Like, okay, for example, I've always been a person that likes to look up health. I have a big health book at home this is way before you could look up anything.
She's also hypochondriac.
Or even an encyclopedia stuff. Like, I've always liked to look up like things or dictionaries, meanings of things and stuff. But it was like literally one word or two words. So you looked it up, flipped the pages, and I knew the answer. Now, if I'm looking up something, I'll go on and on and on. Like, I'll be watching a show and I want to know how old that person is, how many times they've been married, how many kids they have. Okay, now let's see what their kids look like. What are their kids doing now? So I Google, so I'm like my brain feels like a dictionary sometimes. So I just want to look things up, and all of a sudden an hour and a half will pass, and I only wanted to know the answer to one question, how old that person was. And I know so much more now.
A lot of times what happens to me is I'll get on my phone for a reason, and then it'll be 30 minutes later and I put my phone back down, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't even do what I went on. Because you get distracted by all the notifications on your phone or the apps and the text messages. And it shows that that's what Facebook specifically and Instagram, they target you to, they want to notify you on every little thing because they want you on their app. So,
and no matter what I look, I find all that stuff on my stuff too. Yeah. I'll be before I get off my phone, I'll have shopped for something. Like that's the same thing. That's what I mean. And it's just, I feel like that. So then all of a sudden it'll be 8 a.m. It's 1 p.m. Then it's 5 o'clock, time for dinner. Then it's 7:30, time for me to go to bed. I go up in my room and
But you watch series for hours, not for hours. You watch a show for 2 hours usually, right?
I'll watch a show, yes. But now what did she do to me this week? I
told her to try Handmaid's Tale because it's very. The new season is out, and this is the first season I'm watching as a mom. And so it might hit a little bit differently because it's always it's very kind of sad, but also thrilling, and also I don't know how to describe it. It is kind of weird. I know some people that are I can't watch that. But I just told her she should get into it because it's long and she kind of finishes stuff pretty quick.
Well, I don't ever hook the Hulu, is that what it's called, right? Hulu? Hulu up to my TV. So she got changed her password and everything. So I hooked it up, and now I'm like, oh no, what am I doing to myself? And I'm not. I
changed my password because I forgot my password, not because I don't want you to know my password.
Oh, I know. That's what I meant. You had to figure out how to get on.
I'm just saying for the listeners.
Because usually I'll ask her, how do I get on this thing? Oh my gosh, Mom, I don't know the password, so it'll go a month later.
So then I got logged out of all my Hulu accounts, and
a month later, I'll be nice and I'll be patient. I'll say, "Did you ever figure that out?"
So
no,
on
Mom.
Hulu, I'm also watching. That's coming out weekly. Is The Patient, and it's with Steve Carell. So it's really good. It's about this one. He's a psychiatrist, and one of his patients kidnapped him and told him that he is a serial killer and he needs help, and so he won't let him go until he stops doing the serial killing.
And I can honestly tell there's a lot of interesting stuff to watch on there. And I love that you can add it to your list and then look for your list. Like I didn't know that, like things that I'm interested in. So
I
then
saw
I'll
you
remember.
put your name, Jen.
I did.
Is that what you want to be called now, Jen?
I just put something in there.
Well, it's good that you weren't, because I was like, oh no, now she's going to go on My Handmaid's Tale and go back to season 1, but you figured it out.
Yeah. And then, but you also can put all the things like you want to watch later. But the only thing I cannot figure out, and I tried really hard, is how come on Handmaid's Tale you have to watch it on, I have to watch it on volume 100 and I still can't hear it. Yes.
Oh, I don't
so
know.
how can you put subtitles on Hulu?
Yeah.
Okay, I want you to show me that today.
100?
Yeah, but then then I forget and I turn off the TV and oh my gosh, everything else comes out like blaring. But for some reason I can't. I have like kind of bad hearing in the way they talk, and I have a really hard time hearing the show. So it's hard for me to watch without reading it at the same time.
Well,
but anyways,
back to the days and weeks going by fast. It's kind of sad though when you think about it, because I think it's a lot of technology. I think it's a lot of trying to keep up with everything that we're expected to keep up with as, parents in this day and age, or grandparents in this day and age. And so that's the thing, is like, I think a lot of us are frazzled and anxious because of the fast moving pace of the world right now. But then when we try to slow down, it also causes some form of anxiety, because you're feeling guilty of not keeping up and not doing more. And because I took a social media break before, and it actually I felt a lot more anxious because I didn't have those distractions, and I felt guilty for not like working, and because that's technically my job. So it is such a balance that you have to find, and I'm working on finding it. I've been working a lot less, as in taking less collaborations on Instagram, and it's given me, I used to have one every other day, and that was a lot, and now I'm like 2 a week maybe, and so it's just helped me, I think, a lot. I'm still working, it's still considered very full-time, but it's just not over the top. So I think that, and then this podcast has become easier as well, don't you think? Because we have more time, kind of, Mom.
I find the podcast, I'd like to do the podcast, and yes, the only, I could podcast every day as long as we had like somebody to watch Arrow.
Yeah, that's true.
He's running 100 miles an hour right now. And we did actually go to lunch yesterday and tried out a new restaurant in town.
It was really good.
And he was a handful while we were, he's at the point where he does not want to sit, and he just goes limp and just like wiggles out of your arms and just runs wherever he wants. So you kind of just got to let him. Otherwise he causes a huge scene, and he's unhappy. And I think everyone else will be like, oh my gosh, like get your baby to stop crying. So I just kind of chase him around. Just get our exercise in. Yeah. Figure who's gonna, he just wants to check everything out, the surroundings and all that stuff. But
in the weekends lately, I don't know, I feel like it's been better because I've been wanting to do stuff, which is good.
Well, and that's when time doesn't go by that fast to me. Like if we are not that, so I know a lot of it is the phone stuff and just waiting for everybody to get off their phone to get moving. Like, oh no, I got to do this job. I got to do this, or I got to make this phone call, or have to look at this. But like we went for a nice ranger ride out in the country into Dave's mom's last week, and time seemed to stand still then, didn't it?
Yeah,
we went down all the roads, and Dave likes to look he had his binoculars.
It was still really fun.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So, I mean, I guess when they say time flies when you're having fun, it's true, but I had more fun doing that than I do when I work. So
But we were only gone probably an hour and a half to 2 hours, and it was
when I got back, I was like, holy cow.
It was still early, and it seemed like a long, long time. But yeah, that's what we were actually, I ordered Arrow some of his own binoculars so that he can look out his, we put a car seat in there for him, and that way he can kind of look and do what Grandpa and Daddy do or whoever, and look for deer. And he actually slept the whole time. I think he liked the
humming, like the vibration of the Ranger.
So he actually, I think he was worn out that day, and he slept most of the last ride. But okay, another thing, and Nicole does this, and I don't do it, but I think I'm going to start because I'm getting frazzled. Do you guys pack your clothes away in bins, like, and get them out, like your summer clothes, and get out your winter clothes, or things that are too small, or things you're not going to wear? Like, Nicole is the bin queen, are you not?
Yeah, I need more bins.
So I actually ordered 4 huge bins. Did you see that big box in my garage?
Yeah,
That's what's in there.
I was wondering what that was.
So I'm actually going to try this because me and Dave cannot even waver through. I don't throw things away and I don't get rid of things. So, oh my gosh,
Dad
our
has
clothes.
all his shirts from 30 years ago for sure because he still wears them because they're just like the collared button-down plaid shirts.
But he does, but they're all in perfect shape. Like that's why I just never.
I know.
But he told me, he's like, you need to get rid of some of my clothes so I know what to wear. Because not only does he have all his old ones, I buy him new clothes at least 4 to 6 times a year.
You need to go through. So what I'm doing is I'm going through. Yes, you can pack some away, but you need to donate. Say you tell yourself you need to donate 5 items a month. Just that'll help so much. 5 items a month. And then you can pack away like 10 or something. I'm doing where I'm going to like go on my Instagram Coconuts Closet and at least sell 5 pieces a week in order for me to be able to get anything new.
I just need to. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go through both our closets. I am going to get rid of the stuff he's not worn
and then donate.
Forever.
And I have stuff for Arrow's closet that I just am going to donate because it's like stuff that maybe just didn't work or I never wore. I don't know, but... Yeah, so you're going to go through and you're going to pack it up and then you're going to label it and where you're going to put it.
In the basement. But what I'm going to do is right now, I already decided this is really funny because I know every March I go to Florida. So instead of packing away my summer stuff, I'm going to pack my suitcase already for Florida in March.
Oh, that's smart.
And pack Dad's suitcase because we basically, besides the same kind of things that I actually have what I call my Orange Lake clothes and his clothes. And that way I don't have, because how else are you going to dig them out if you pack them away and then you need them for vacation.
Yeah, no, you have to be smart about packing away. So I started really doing it, which it is hard to get them back out. So you have to like really push yourself to get them back out. But when I was pregnant, I was like, this stuff is not going to fit. And then I had Arrow in August. So I packed away a lot of fall clothes. And now it's a whole nother year later and I'm still not wearing. It kind of makes me sick like that. All my clothes, I look at them and I'm like, oh my gosh, like they were like size 0 extra small. Like I'm like, I don't know if I'll ever be that small again because I am a mom and I'm gonna, I don't know, it'd be hard for me. And I don't know if I'd be like super happy that small. But anyways, it's kind of like, oh, all these really cute clothes because I was that small until I was like 28, 29 years old. You know what I mean? So what do you do with all of them? I'm going to keep them again for another year, but I might be trying to get pregnant this year at some point or 2022. So then it's going to be another year. So I don't know.
But you have a lot of cute stuff that don't go out of style. So that's,
Yeah, I do.
I do have a lot of stuff actually that went out of style. So yeah, I'm going to get this. Tomorrow I think I'm going to have some time. So I think I'm going to pack away both of our closets, stuff that I actually do want to keep, and then stuff that I don't want to keep is I bet you I fill at least a garbage bag, maybe 2 to donate. And then I'm going to pack the suitcases too. And I have extra suitcases, so I'm just going to pack one big one with mine and Dave's stuff, and then I can add to that back in March again. When I pull it out or whatever, I'll add to it. But just stuff I want to make sure.
Yeah, and any new thing that you get, you can just add. Is that what you said?
Or if I wanted to take something out at that point. But I know for sure at least I can pack a full suitcase of stuff that we take every year, like the swimsuits, and that way I'll be easy access to. Say I need my swimsuits if we go somewhere in January for some odd reason, I'll know right where to go grab my swimsuit and stuff out of.
I have
too.
all my swimsuits in one bag in my closet that zips up. It's nice because then I can just ruffle through, which I just think that I need to find a better organization system.
Well, I'm jealous of her closet. If I had her closet at my house, everything would be organized because she has a really nice closet. I just have normal closets and I don't have that kind of room. And the other 2 closets and Jesse's room is still full of all Jesse's clothes that were from smaller sizes, but they're all nice clothes. So that's another thing. I'm going to pack his stuff in a bin too, so we have that extra closet. And then the closet down the basement has Jesse's clothes in it too.
You should just ask him if he wants it, and if not, then you donate it. Because why would you keep?
Because Dad can wear all of it. I'm gonna go through it because it's all Dad's size now.
You can go through it, yeah. But some stuff you probably don't want to keep, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, the stuff that I don't want. I'm actually the nephews that are that size. I already got a big pile for them. So because. Sometimes he just wore things once.
Right.
Yeah, and it's just like even that jean jacket that Dad just wore last weekend. That was brand new and looked
nice
on Dad. That's what I'm saying.
Will he wear that again?
Yeah, he liked it.
It looked really good.
Okay, so then we're going to talk about, Nicole calls it irrational fears.
Oh, yeah. I was just thinking yesterday. So, okay, and talking about this, I'm going to try not to get I have a doctor appointment in an hour. And for me, going to the doctor is just the biggest irrational fear. And I don't know why. So I just was thinking I called them and I said, hey, can I do a virtual visit? Because when I come in and get my blood pressure checked and my heart rate and everything, I just get dizzy. I get anxiety. My heart rate will be in the 130s at least, and my blood pressure will be real high. Just for that moment, because I hate when they take my vitals. So can I just do a virtual visit? And they're like, I'll call you back and we'll see. And then I never got a call back, so I have to go in today, and I have to get a pap smear. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
And so anyways, that's probably why they won't let me, because she let me do virtual for my anxiety before. But I'm getting worked up even talking about going to the doctor. That's my irrational fear. If you could be hypnotized out of any irrational fear, it would probably be going to the doctor. But I think it all results to the fear of death. I think that's kind of a fear that I have is especially now having a baby, and I just relate going to the doctor to that. And also being a nurse, I think I was fine being on the other side, and I think I just saw so much stuff that it just made me scared. I don't know. That's my irrational fear.
And I'm the same way. And she just said something about I should go today. And I'm like, yeah, because I don't go do that stuff, blood work and stuff. Even waiting for my results scares me, but it doesn't scare me to get my blood drawn.
Yeah, I can go to the hospital and get my blood drawn or get a shot. It's going into the office.
And then it's yeah, and we're all like that. My kids are like that, I think, because I pushed it and I said, we don't want it to go on and on. You need to.
Dad's like that too. Dad, you guys had a home health care nurse come in for some reason,
life insurance.
Life insurance. And poor Dad got so worked up that his blood pressure was super high, but he's afraid of needles.
No, yeah, that's why he wasn't worked up, because he was getting the white coat syndrome. Because he saw me get my blood drawn, and that he was second, just watching that. So what he did, he he pulled his arm while they were doing it, and he got a big lump, and he's blaming them. He's like, look what you did to me. And it's because he tenses his arm up, and he actually pulled it out. I kind of jerked it. So the needle went in, I don't know, weird.
Well, funny story about Dad with that is we went and got our flu shots together last year at the pharmacy, and after you told me that story, you're like, make him go first, right? I was pregnant, and then the pharmacist is like, you going to go first and show her how it's done to my dad? And then my dad goes, no, she can go. So you watched me get it. He about passed out, and then he had to sit down and do it. I'm like, Dad. Oh,
yeah, he is. And I push him to go to, just since he's retired, to that yearly appointment. And he has only got his blood work done once and he does not go. His insurance must love us, me and him both, because besides having babies... You guys aren't
on any daily medication, at all, for anything.
We probably don't even spend...
And Dad probably needs some sort.
Yeah, we don't use any of the insurance because we never go to...
But you should. And that's the thing, is we both, so everyone in the family is the same. They're terrified, even my brother. But we all encourage each other to go. We get on each other's butts. If mom canceled her sleep apnea test, I think twice.
But then I did get it.
Did you ever get the results?
Yeah, they said
there's no way. Victor told me he heard you snoring at when we were down at Houghton Lake, or not Houghton Lake, Middleville, and that you definitely have sleep apnea.
Well, I got the test. They never called and said anything was wrong with me.
So anyway, she canceled that twice. But me and Dad are and Jesse are calling her you need to go, stop canceling. But if it was me in the situation, I know that I would. I would know I would try to cancel.
when I went for that, maybe it's because they gave me the one where you take home and you wear. So they hooked so I wore it for that whole night, and then I had to take it back the next morning. And I guess I should call and check on that, because the nurse lady, she called me and she said the doctor's going to be out for 2 weeks, but looking at it, everything's good. You're good, but he'll still call and go over it, or you'll hear from your doctor, which I have not heard. But when I went in that room, oh my gosh, did I get anxiety? I was like, there is like, you go into this room where you can sit, and like I had to do I was on the TV with him. What's that called?
Just like the
doctor, the televisit.
Yeah, televisit.
So the doctor, she was there, but then the doctor got on, and then we went over all the questions. In the room next to me is like a hospital room, but they put like a regular bed that looks like, like that. Honestly, the room looked like the room
from Handmaid's Tale.
Yes,
honestly.
yes, it did. And it was scary. I was like, there's no way. I would definitely have sleep apnea if I have to sleep in that bed and there have to stand and watch me. Like, it was like poles on, I don't know. Like, I could not even. I was like, I couldn't. That would have stressed me out. It wasn't even a normal hospital bed. It was like, they tried to make it look like a room would. That made it worse.
Yes, that was like scary.
Do you seen it? Did I take a picture?
Yes, you took a picture. It was scary. I could not sleep there. And then I was going to say what was I going to say?
I did go to the dentist last week, and I didn't realize it'd been since before COVID, since I had a cleaning, and I was all stressed out because my teeth hurt, but everything was good. So I
switched dentists, and I loved like the new one a lot, except for I just thought about it. They take your blood pressure, which stresses me the F out.
And my dentist don't do anything.
Okay, so it's the blood pressure. If I could go to the doctor's office and not get my blood pressure and pulse taken, I would have no anxiety. And I will say, when I was pregnant with Arrow, the entire time, my OBGYN was so chill. My blood pressure was like 110/70 every single time. Like, I never had hypertension. I had a very like normal heart rate. It was like really good. And I think it's because it didn't quite feel like so serious.
Isn't that weird that like we get scared like that? Because even like, during COVID, like when I was sick, I bought one of those things that go on your finger. Is that what the pulse thing?
Oh my gosh, yes.
And I put it by my bed, and I wouldn't even put it on because I was like, I'm not checking unless I like feel real sick. I am not. Dave's like, he wanted to always check his, so Dave was putting
Dad's like said 89. I'm like, what's going on with you?
So Dave would put it on his, and I'm like, I'm not putting that on. And he's like, come on. He's trying to sneak it on my finger. I'm like, no, I don't want that thing on my finger.
We're the same. You did this to me, Jenny.
But sometimes I like, when I put it on, it would say like 99. It was fine, but I think I hid that thing. It's up in my room somewhere. I haven't seen it.
What I have to do when the nurse puts it on, I have to say, hurry up and look because it needs to come off because my heart rate's going to increase. Like, it's so bad.
But then if I look at it and it says 99 or 100, I'm totally fine. Like, even if you go, like, I'm triggered
by my heart rate because it's been so high when I've had panic attacks.
Yeah, and I've been just like in the ER. I have gone a couple times way before, which with my gallbladder attacks, which I thought was, and I think the anxiety with it. But when it beeps and like you think the lady's supposed to come because your heart rate gets too high or stuff, that's scary, isn't it?
Yeah, it's horrible. Horrible. And what's weird is being on the other side of it's totally fine for me. So I don't know, being around it never got comfortable. So now it's just kind of like, and everyone's just like, I know it's not super common because they look at me like, what is wrong with you? So, anyways.
And then I was going to tell the gentleman that I talked about last week on the podcast. I didn't say his name or anything, but he actually, somebody told, let me see what he wrote. I got to look at that. He said, I found out this morning from a friend this morning that I was discussed last week by Nicole Franzel and her mom, Jenny Franzel, on her podcast as the storm was approaching. I've never listened to a podcast before, so had to download an app to hear it. Thanks for mentioning me and my son and the evacuation struggle of not being able to drive, then the hotel evacuating and all, Jenny. We made it through, but lost everything. So it's kind of interesting that people like, that got the message to them that we were talking. Because sometimes we don't think.
And how did they know it was him? They must just check your Facebook friends and know.
I don't have no idea how they figured that just from the little things I said. But because he cannot still get back to his home. His son is supposed to be going back to school and stuff. There is a GoFundMe page. They're trying to help him out. So I'm going to share that on the podcast page. And just in case anybody wants to click on the link and check it out. I guess what he does, they call him the Santa Claus. He's like Santa Claus for everybody around the area. Nice. Yes, he's like, so anyways, I wanted to share that. I'm going to share that on there and donate to it. And,
okay. So then, that's really good of you to mention. Like, I think that's cool that, it got back to him and now it can benefit him by hopefully raising some money to help because they said that they lost everything, which is really sad.
Yeah, he's still like I've seen like he shared pictures on his page and stuff. It's all underwater. Like even in his car, because he couldn't drive, the water's up past the steering wheel, like in there and stuff. It's scary.
I'm glad they're okay though. But yeah, that is.
Well, and he's still in a hotel because and his family lives farther away. So hopefully, I'm hoping his situation improves and he can get into like something that feels like home soon, or they can get to his house. So they can't even get to it yet because the water is not down to even access like the lost and all that stuff. So that's why he can't even it's not safe yet in his neighborhood. Mm-hmm. And then
okay then I guess I wanted to have you guys write on the Facebook page what your irrational fear is, though, because back to that. Sorry, I'm going back to it because, I'm thinking that some people are very afraid of spiders, even though it's real tiny. Like, I don't love spiders, but I'm not gonna some people it's like mice, or some people might be flying in an airplane. Things that you are like, okay, the odds, there's really nothing wrong with it, but you're just really scared, it'll cause you maybe small places. It just causes you fear when you're and some people are like things that other people are scared of. I'm not scared of. I'm scared of a lot of things now though, like heights, and I think it's because I don't know. I'm actually I'm kind of a fraidy kid as I get older. Things that I was never ever scared of when I was younger. I'm scared to go on the Ferris wheel, but Dave makes me go every year, and I do it. I'm afraid to go on the Ferris wheel because I saw that thing. Some bolts were missing one time. I'm not going on that.
But I mean, he convinces me to do it, but I'm scared of it.
Is the risk worth the reward for a Ferris wheel for me? Heck no.
Not me either, but it's the ride Dave likes, so
Dad likes it because I think he likes to torture you, honestly, in a funny way. I don't think he loves the Ferris wheel because why does he just is Jenny, we're going on the Ferris wheel.
Yeah, he talks about it it'll be 2 months before the fair is coming up. And I'm like, why do you got to pick to do it at the local fair where they just put these rides together?
He made you go one time locally and there was screws missing?
Yeah, and then right after us, I could hear everything creaking. I was up there and I was hanging onto the bars that's going to help anything. And this is the funny thing. As soon as I get in the Ferris wheel, we just went into the Sandusky Fair one this summer, and that one was a lot better because it was the Ferris wheel where you each sit on one side and you face each other. I felt a little safer in there, but the minute I get in there, and while they're going around, I search the entire thing for if it's going to fall. I'm going to be able to hold myself. No, hell no. But I search where I could grab, that's not in the cart, onto the machine
smart.
itself. So I search it out and I'll be I look at Dave and I'm like, does that bar hook to there? And I'll ask him some questions so that I know ahead of time. And then
yeah, Mom, no offense, but I don't know if you can hang on for long enough.
And I think the half of the reason I'm so stressed out is because I'm my weight and I know I'm heavier. So then if they put me on a cart and then the next person they put is my size too, I really panic. I'm like, why are they putting us all on the same side? They need to balance this weight out a little bit. I literally start in my head checkpoints. I'm like, okay.
Tell them about in Bad X, though, when their screw was missing and you heard noises.
Yeah, I heard noises and I was hollering down. I was like, something's wrong. Something's wrong. And anyways.
I remember I was standing there and I was to get them off.
I was like, something is wrong. And thank goodness it was more towards the end, but they slowed it down. And then we were at the fair another 2 hours. They still never started the ride back up. So something really was wrong. I was not I listened to every little noise, everything. I'm like, and I swear I saw something fly out. I said to Nicole, there is a bolt flew out when we were on there. I'm watching, I'm not enjoying it. It's not romantic. And it's oh, Dave's you want me rocket? That's what he says the whole time. You want me rocket? I say, no.
That's exactly why he wants you. He loves to do that to you. Did he rock it?
That one doesn't rock. The one where you both sit on one side is not like that as much. It rocks a little bit by itself, but it was not bad. The one where he's sitting next to you and you're both facing out, yes, he rocks that one. And that was the last time when the bolt... He was even scared when that happened with the bolt thing. He was like, yeah, something is wrong.
Yeah, I remember that. Oh. But then so then back to getting a pap smear or whatever. It's been since, I don't know, I probably only had 3 my whole life. I always say no and I never go. And so I got to get that done today. But I was just thinking, now that I have a son, I told my mom, I will go for Arrow because if they find something like cancerous or something, I would want to know because, that really affects Arrow's life. So I'm doing it for him, not me.
And why is it so scary? I'm going to be honest right now, and this is bad, and I'm going to get probably yelled at on the podcast. My only two pap smears I ever had was when I was pregnant with Nicole and pregnant with Jesse. So the last one was 29 years ago. Mm-hmm. So that is scary. And she mentions it every year. She goes, "Are you ready for it?" I'm like, no. Like, I don't know. I think I'd rather go onto a naked beach and then go get a pap smear. That is horrible.
It's the positioning. But the thing is our doctor is a girl and she's awesome. So and she's younger and stuff. So I think it's not for me. I think it's weirder for me if it's like a guy, but even though it's just medical, it's just more comfortable for me if it's a girl.
And I went with you for your one. Remember when I went with you? You had one 3 years ago, remember?
With who? The old doctor in Snuski?
Yeah.
Mom, that was 8 years ago. I was in college.
Oh, well, that's the last, no, because you had it with Arrow. They would have gave you one then.
I got one, and then since he was breech, I never had to get another one, thank goodness.
Well, they just feel then.
They didn't feel either.
No, but I'm saying they won't check you.
So
but
I did have a lump or something back in college. So that's the only reason I went.
But, when I watched her get it, I was in the room, but I didn't watch, but I watched how quick it was, and it was a woman. Then I was like, why am I scared of that? Because it did not even look scary when Nicole got her. So I'm like, why does that make me so paranoid? So maybe, and the only two that I've ever had were both a man doctor, and maybe that was the whole thing, I
had to get one in the remember I had to get one in the ER after I had Arrow because I was bleeding so much. It's just so uncomfortable. Because I don't know, because they're uncomfortable too. They're not. It's just a weird thing, but yet, we have to normalize it, and it's not like any doctor has ever made me feel uncomfortable, or their face has never been a weird whatever. So it's just more in my head, I guess. And even my friend Mariah, who is an NP, she gives them, and she's like, it's fine, it's it's just not a big deal, and it's just the anatomy. And so it's we just have to think that way, right? Don't put extra pressure or whatever on yourself, because the whole time I feel I'm just tense and just okay, hurry up.
But it really was. I saw yours, and that was really
quick.
So quick.
I think she was really quick though. She just retired a little bit after that, or left or whatever, and she just knew what the hell she was doing. That was nice.
Yeah, she was just boom boom.
I would do that again and again. I think that was quicker than usual. But
we're getting close to time for you to get dressed and get ready for your appointment, so we better cut it off.
Yeah, what time is it? Oh yeah, I better go. Okay, thank you guys so much for joining in, and let us know your irrational fears, because I'm really interested, and I appreciate you guys listening to us every week. We really, really, really appreciate it, honestly. Thank you.
Bye.